Yes, you must be extremely busy trying to track two test matches going on, one of them gripping the other one. Well, the fate's almost decided for the visiting side in England, and we thought while there's lunch happening, at least here in India, let's just make the most of that opportunity and give you everything you need to know what's happening in the sporting world. Let's start with the match I'm talking about, the one taking place between India and New Zealand. And as we speak, lunch's been taken. India are now into bat. Good work from the Indian spinners on the morning of the third day, where you saw Ravichandran Ashwin get into the wickets. There was Jadeja who picked up 3+2. That was the split between Jadeja and Ashwin. Jadeja picking 3, Ashwin picking 2. India doing a good job with the ball. The chase has begun. 81 for 1 is where India are at the moment. We saw some fireworks from the Indian openers, and it's an exciting test match, I can tell you. This after India got all out for 156. What they managed to do is restrict New Zealand to 259, if memory serves me right. Let me just give you a clarification on that as well. 255 is what India managed to restrict New Zealand on. So that's what's happening in the test match between India and New Zealand in Pune. And yeah, so that was the first bit of it as far as this wrap is concerned. But let's move forward, because there's so much more that we can talk about in terms of what's happening in the sporting world. MS Dhoni, difficult to keep him away from the spotlight. He has a role to perform. He has a role to perform in the upcoming Jharkhand elections, which are to take place. And MS Dhoni, I must tell you, has been appointed as the ambassador for the Jharkhand elections. As you know, with every ambassador, the primary duty becomes to educate the people and motivate them to exercise their franchise. That is what is going to be the job of a Mahendra Singh Dhoni. So be prepared to see Mahendra Singh Dhoni doing some good public work, and there's going to be a lot of advertisements again featuring Mahendra Singh Dhoni, as he will be asking people to exercise their franchise come the polling day. Also, by the way, some comments coming in from Mahendra Singh Dhoni, which are doing the rounds these days for the last couple of hours, I must say, on social media. You always want to know what's going to happen with CSK retentions. What is it MS Dhoni is thinking of for his future, what his plans are like. Interesting that he says that playing competitive cricket is difficult. It's something that is very emotionally charged, takes a lot out of you, and he says he wants to enjoy his cricket for the last few years. That's what he says. Now that's a big indication whether he plays in the upcoming edition of the IPL or not. Speculation has it that he will be playing. We've heard from some of his colleagues in Suresh Raina, etc., hint that MS Dhoni could be featuring. But when he says he wants to enjoy these last few years, I think you and I both understand what the message from MS is. So that was about MS Dhoni. Let's talk about very quickly these four gentlemen that you see on the screen. Kuldeep Yadav, Riyan Parag, Mayank Yadav, Shivam Dube, all have injury concerns, all miss out on the two important series coming on. That's against South Africa and against Australia as well. You were expecting Kuldeep to be there, but he's got a left groin issue, so he heads to the NCA, or the new excellence school that they're now calling it, the excellence facility in Bangalore. Riyan Parag has a shoulder issue. There is an issue with Shivam Dube as well, and Mayank Yadav also. Yes, he got his maiden cap for India very recently. However, injuries continue to plague the career of this young speedster. So all four missing out for different reasons as far as injuries are concerned. We'll keep a close eye on what the recovery looks like for all of them. Let's talk about the juniors in this present Indian team setup. The juniors who were busy playing in the ACC Emerging Asia Cup. Not a happy time for them at the tournament, because the tournament's come to an end. They were up against Afghanistan and were stunned by Afghanistan, must I say. 207 odd that they had to chase, and even though Ramandeep got a good 50, staged a good 68-run partnership as well towards the end, but all of that went in vain, as India could not surmount the target that was set to the, or rather surmount the total that was set by Afghanistan. So Tilak Verma, this despite, by the way, a good Indian team playing in this Asia Cup. There was Tilak Verma, there was a Dhoni, there was a Ramandeep, there was Abhishek. Now some of these have made international debuts as well, remember. But India have exited. Afghanistan made it to the final, and they will be up against Sri Lanka, who had then beaten Pakistan, and they made it look much easier than this India versus Afghanistan match. 20 runs was the margin of victory for Afghanistan. Let's talk about Jemimah Rodrigues and her father, Ivan Rodrigues. As you heard it here from us a couple of days back, both son and daughter got into a bit of a soup. Jemimah's membership for the Khar Gymkhana was also cancelled because her father was allegedly performing religious activities which were beyond the permissible code of conduct or the permissible rules of the Khar Gymkhana. Her father has now issued an apology and said that he tried clearing the air and said that nothing that he did was was against the rules. And yes, he did admit, however, that he did carry out a couple of prayer meetings at the spot. That's the first time that we've heard from her father, Ivan Rodrigues. There will be another story, a detailed one, which we'll bring to you here on Sports Today. So do watch out for that as well. Let's talk about the Premier League before we wrap things up. Early action as far as this time, this game week is concerned. You saw Leicester playing host to Nottingham Forest, who have seen goals recently, and today and in this match as well, you saw them getting 3 of them, and that was enough to cancel out the 1 goal that was scored by Jamie Vardy. These other matches you can look forward to today. The exciting one, well, I would say would be the Man City versus Southampton match. You can expect goals over there as well, but there's Brighton versus Wolves, there's Ipswich, Brentford, and then the late night fixture at 10 o'clock, Everton versus Fulham. That's going to be the one to watch out for as well. So this is what the Premier League action looks like. Remember, the race is on. Man City would again be hoping that they do their bit. Liverpool will be playing later than them. So if Man City go on to win, well, they take the top spot. But if Liverpool again get the exact same result, then that 1 point difference remains between the two sides. And very quickly before I wrap up, transfer news, the gossip at the moment is Erik ten Hag continues to, because there are 3 draws now that Manchester United have seen in the Europa League, the latest one coming against Fenerbahce. There are again rumors that he's on thin ice, Erik ten Hag. And the rumor now being as to who the replacement could be, well, apparently some reports suggesting that it could be former Barcelona manager and a legend of the club in Xavi. His tenure at the club did not end very well. And if you ask me personally as a Manchester United fan, how I like that rumor, well, I'm not a big fan of it because of Xavi's CV as a coach and how things went down at Barcelona. However, there's a lot of financial play as well that you need to understand as to how things went wrong between Xavi and the club. However, with what Hansi Flick has been able to do, that gives you more perspective of exactly the coaching ability of Xavi, and maybe there's work to be done over there. So that's the latest in terms of the rumors doing the rounds surrounding Old Trafford. We hope you liked this morning wrap. In case you like this whole summation that we did for you, do share it with your friends and family members. And it's an exciting day ahead. India are 81 for 1. Lunch has been taken. You know where you have to be at the end of day's play, which will again be around 4:30, 4:40. We'll be here from the Sports Today studio breaking down what we saw. Exciting India session, picking up 5 wickets, getting those 80 odd runs as well. So let's see where this test match goes, and you know where to come at 4:40 for a detailed analysis about the game that we see today. Thank you so much, and do subscribe to the channel if you haven't already done so.